Finding Nemo, a pair of blue jeans, some old guy, and the poop emoji. If I were you, I would be wondering what on earth these have to do with superbugs. Now, most of you have probably heard of superbugs, either on the news or from that one weird uncle on Facebook that only types in all caps, but we can all say that superbugs are super scary. They're so scary because we can't kill them with antibiotics. They're resistant. And as they become more resistant, we become less able to control them. So, there is some good news for humanity in all this. Only a fraction of superbugs actually cause infection, and the people that get these infections tend to have the superbugs living inside them. So what we do is we root through patient samples, which is as gross as it sounds, looking for the superbug known as Klebsiella pneumoniae. One could say that we spend our time finding Pneumo. And when we find these guys, we dig through their little bacterial genomes looking for genes that help them cause infection. So you may be wondering, why spend time and money doing this when we could just make new drugs? Well, it turns out that making new drugs is extremely expensive, it takes a really long time, and it's very challenging. So we hope that by understanding how superbugs cause infection, we can come up with new and creative treatments. So this research has already led us to a gene discovered by this good-looking fella. Now, for those of you that aren't microbiology buffs, this is Sir Alexander Fleming, who's very famous for his very accidental discovery of a compound that he lovingly called mold juice. Today we call it penicillin. Now, I'm not here to wax poetic about Fleming or penicillin, but I do want to talk to you about a different chemical that he worked on known as tellurite. Now, if you're my dad, you make a bad joke about the Telluride Film Festival. It's got nothing to do with that. Tellurite is a compound that's toxic to humans and bacteria, and it turns out that our favorite superbug, Klebsiella, has a gene that resists tellurite. And when this gene is present, a patient is up to 150 times more likely to get an infection. So how does this knowledge actually help us fight superbugs? Well, that is where the poop comes in. Now, poop is amazing stuff, and it's really easy to get a hold of. So if we can find tellurite resistance genes inside patient fecal samples, we can diagnose a patient's risk of an adverse outcome. Put more simply, a quick butt swab when you get to the hospital, and we can tell you if you're likely to get an infection. And if you are, rather than wait for you to get a disease that we can't treat, we can put you on simple and cheap precautionary measures to prevent that infection from occurring in the first place. So by diagnosing infections before they occur, we hope to make superbugs a little less super. Thanks.